Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful evening with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, Astro Numerologist, and as you see, we have some wonderful guests that's going to be joining us in just a moment concerning a big event that's coming up this weekend, of course, at Nicholas, Brooklyn, at 1396 Fulton Street, over 150, I started to say over 150 years, that's not true, over 50 years of being in business. And they're going to have this wonderful event. It's going to be just great. And you'll get a chance to meet Sister Nia Love and Mama Ella. I don't know whether Kufunya is going to be joining us. Of course, King Simon and Hankh, he's already another commitment at this point. But let me tell you, this show is being brought to you by U-Juice. Just go to Levitt Store, LIVETSTORE, LevittStore.com and order your juices. Also, I thank Mama Ella. No, excuse me, not Mama Ella, but Nicholas Brooklyn. And they're featuring, this is the event that they're featuring, okay? As you see, it will be this Sunday. And it will be from 3 to 7, I would imagine. Well, actually, her store never closed at 7, never closed on time. So 3 to closing time, that's what she should put on there. Also, Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly. And she is now also introduced a business section for people in business. It's interesting how many people have been kind of terminated within the last several months. And normally what it does is it leads to the start of businesses. So if you want to get a numerical perspective, an astrological perspective, do. And then, of course, Numerologics with Queen Bee. And she is our sponsor. Also, Jazz Aphrodite, get her book, Knocking from the Inside. There are not too many copies left, but you can hear it on audio. All righty. So before I bring on the guest, I'm going to bring me on first. So only so I can do the forecast for today, because I got my brother on. And today is Wednesday, April the 23rd. The sun is in Taurus. The moon is in Pisces. It's a 4 universal day. 4 universal month. Actually, it's an 8 universal week. I knew it. A 1 universal. Oh, man. Anyway, no, but it is a 9 universal day. And so for those under Aries, Scorpio, Leo, all born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month, this is it. So everybody, I do want to thank you for joining us. I gotta ask first. I'm gonna bring on my brother King Simon. Simon, how you doing? Oh, let's see.
Hold on, Lloyd. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now. Listen, when you make boo-boos like that, I've been making them I'll forget. What do you do? You know what I'm saying?
and Lloyd, when you're doing the forecast, that's why I like the board, because I can erase and put it right back on. Erase and put it right back on. Excuse me, people. I got to erase this and put it right back.
I have to say, my bad.
Old school is the true school, sir. Old school, true school.
Yeah.
Be real.
I'm glad I have no problems admitting when I'm not correct or wrong or however people want to put it, though.
Exactly. Me too, sir. Me too.
But I don't do it deliberately. It's not deliberate to see if you're paying attention. It's just happens. Okay.
Exactly.
But anyway, you have 2 beautiful guests on that's going to be joining us in just a moment.
I think Kufunya is also down there too.
Kufunya just joined in.
Yes,
3 beautiful guests. Okay.
Yeah, when you're ready.
And Mama Ella, and of course, Sister Kufunya. She is the queen of the house. Okay, no question about that. Simon, tell us about Sunday. Tell us all about this event.
And in your private chat, I do have the I did put the link tree, so you could put that on the board. The link tree takes you to all the tickets. But we're really focusing on using esoteric wisdom for mental health, and the importance that esoteric wisdom matters for mental and physical health. And I'm of the belief. Matter of fact, I don't believe it anymore. We're in the years of knowing and the knowledge. Aquarian age is about knowing. I'm under the knowing since I wrote that book, Numerological for Mental Stability, and the amount of people that have purchased it and people have given me the good reviews on it. Mental health is a serious thing. And matter of fact, Nia Love is one of those people that wrote a foreword for that book, you know, and I'm glad that she was able to do that because she's a PhD candidate at that time. And she also deals with transition. She's a transitional doula. But this event is just all of us sharing our different wisdom on how to overcome any type of mental instability, because it is a constant process. It is constant work. It's not a one size fit all anything. That's why in my book, Numerological for Mental Stability, I spoke about all of the armor of God. You got to use all of the armor. It's not just the face armor. You got to use the arm and the shoulders and then you got spiritual armor that we got to use. And then we got navigational armor that we got to use that you and I know is numerology or astronumerology or what I call numerovation. And you got astrology, which is also that connection to the micro and macro cosmic connection of navigating in this realm. So we got to use all of the modalities, not just the religious one. And I don't push the religious one away, because if it's going to help you, whether you believe in Jesus, Muhammad, or Moses, then by all means, stay focused and do that. I tell people numerology, astrology, and all these things don't come to take you away from your religion. It's here to guide you so you can be better in your religion. Be your best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there isn't a religious text that doesn't refer to a chapter and a verse, which you must find by numbers. I don't know how you're going to do it any other way. Don't do alphabets or color codes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on the guest, which is Sister Nia Love. Hi, Nia Love. How you doing?
You're on mute, Nia. You're on mute.
Yeah. I'll mute her. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Greetings, Lloyd. Greetings, Simon.
Good.
Greetings, everyone.
Good. I'm going to bring on Mama Ella. Mama, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good.
And as they say, saving the best for last. Y'all know who that is. That is Queen Kufunya. Okay, let there be no question.
Yes.
Hey, Queen, how we doing?
Greetings and salutations to everyone this evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. It's an honor to have everybody here. All 2 Leos, a Pisces, you know, it is 2 Aquarius. We do what we do.
Who's the 2 Leos?
Nia and Kufunya Leo.
Oh, I know she's a Leo. I ain't even paying her no mind.
I love it all.
So, Mama Ella, you're a Pisces.
Correct. Yes.
February or March?
March Pisces.
Okay. May I ask what date? Not the year. Don't need the year.
March 15.
Okay. Money, gifts, and favors to mothers. I like that.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start with you, Nia Love. How you doing? You're end of life doula. I had a doula on before. Did I ever have you on?
No, I've never been on.
Well, we're gonna have to have you on. We're gonna have to have Mama Ella on. Kufunya's been on. She's past due. She's overdue. But I need to bring her on because you know there's doulas that bring people into the world. Then there are doulas who, and a lot of people don't really focus on that part of the doulas, that we all got to make a transition, and so all of us got to go that way. That's one thing.
Right.
We all got to head exit left. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be a thing. All right. So now what will you be talking about, Nia?
I'm just talking about, I would say, the bereavement disparity and just end of life disparity for brown and black people, and how to prepare, and what are some of the things you should expect in end of life. And yeah, that's what's coming up for me today. Just briefly.
Now you said an interesting word, disparity. What do you mean? There are things that people think but don't know or should know?
For me, when I mean disparity, I mean that it's impacting brown and black people more than other races. So there's a disparity.
Okay.
So for example, when it comes on to, for example, debts, brown and black people are having higher debts. I'm seeing in some of the stats. Not just that, but we're also experiencing mental health, I would say crisis, prolonged grief higher than other races based on this stats that I'm seeing.
Interesting.
So we're not prepared for end of life. Like you said, everyone know about, the birth of a child, and we have birth doulas and we're bringing people into the world, but there's disparity for end of life support for brown and black people, and having that support end of life, it's not there a lot for people. And we're dying in pain, we're dying not having end of life plans and so forth.
Okay, I tell you this, I can tell this is going to be a private show, just you and I. So come on, Mama Ella, and you, my dear.
Yeah, so I'm understanding that on Friday, on Sunday is going to be like an open panel discussion where we all are going to share our ideas on esoteric wisdom. And as Brother King Simon said, mental stability and things of that nature. So me being a very spiritual person, also as a psychic medium, I'm just going to bring forth spiritual concepts to help people understand that there's a duality between the physical and the spiritual realm, and most of the things that happens in the physical realm is a result of spiritual discomfort in a sense. And so not most, like if we're suffering from mental depression, let's to be clear, if many of us are suffering from like mental depression and mental breakdowns, I personally feel that you have to get your spiritual aspect in line, in alignment. There must be something that's out of line within yourself. So I want to try to bring, and I'm speaking about like the chakras, it could be a certain particular chakra that might be out of line, anything, because everything is holistic. So I want to just bring, or either highlight physical and spiritual aspects of life, and how mental depression could be a cause of spiritual discomfort.
That makes sense. And I'm telling you, I live here in New York City. I don't know what city you live in. I think you might live in
I'm in New York too.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about. We see a lot of people this kind of off balance walking the streets and whatnot, and it's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Sister Kufunya. Okay, let's hear what you got to say, young lady.
Well, on Sunday, once again, I'm happy to be a part of this esoteric and mental stability event. And what I'm going to be bringing to the table is the sound frequencies that can help mental and emotional benefits, such as reduce stress and anxiety, improve sleep, emotional release, increase focus and clarity, and also the physical benefits of sound baths, the pain relief, lower blood pressure and heart rate, improve heart rate, reduce muscle tension, and there's other potential benefits such as boosting immunity and spiritual well-being and improve body awareness. And I love doing the sound frequencies. It just takes you to another world.
Listen, I'm laughing because anybody who's going to St. Nicholas, Brooklyn knows that's your thing.
Yeah,
you get those bowls and whatnot, and just take people to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I will have the Tibetan traditional bowls, and I will have the crystal, like rose quartz and citrine bowls as well. And I will have, before we get into it, to open up the way, I will have some essential oils to anoint people with so they can be ready to receive the information of the entire panel.
And Kufunya, pardon me, Lloyd. Kufunya, let them know what's coming on that weekend, the 26th also. What's happening?
Oh, yeah.
Saturday. I think it's Ross Ben, right?
Yeah, Ross Ben will be in the building. He's celebrating 25 years. His book called Rock of Ages, which is a collector's item right now. And also he'll be doing a slide presentation as well. So it's going to be on and popping. And then after that, it's going to be a live event with a live band after. But Ross Ben's event starts at 3 p.m. and ends at 7 p.m.
Right.
Good
And
numbers
then from
there.
there, from 7 to closing time, it's live music and entertainment. I take it.
Yeah.
That's the opening of the musical vibration.
Right.
Okay.
From
okay.
7:30 to about 11:30.
Right.
So it's a packed, fun-filled
Weekend.
and it's weekend strong end.
Right.
And it's,
Strong end,
you
that's
know,
right.
everybody should, you know, listen, I don't want people to sleep on Nicholas Brooklyn, period. That's my mantra. Don't sleep on Nicholas Brooklyn because they've been providing, for me, it's an institution. And I love what
No,
Sister
it is an
Monique is.
institution. It ain't no think it is without
Okay, yes,
question.
it is
Yes,
an
it is.
institution and it has helped thousands of people, you know, and celebrities pass through. I mean, we're all celebrities, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Sermon, how'd you come up with this wonderful idea of bringing all these ladies together like this and Hank? How'd you come up with this?
You know, brother, I love to bring. You know, I was talking to Tassili, my aunt that runs the restaurant out here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, out in Georgia. I'm not even in Georgia right now, but I was speaking to her, and she said she commended me for always bringing women on the platform, balancing it out. And I've been doing that for years. Everybody know me. I've been balancing it out.
Yes, King Simon.
You know, and all of these ladies right here have trained under Dr. Laila Africa, certified under Dr. Africa. All of them.
Whoa. Big up.
Every
Yes.
one of them right here. So, and you know, have touches of Queen of Ford, touches of Dr. Sabia, touches of everyone.
Yeah.
They all these women. I got them all here because these are the ones that I thought about. And you know, Nia don't come out as much, but I'm glad that, you know, she did the foreword for this book. New Motivation for Mental, as she was a mental health PhD candidate for mental health. So you know,
that makes sense though, to get her to do the introduction.
Yeah, no, I was proud to have her do it. You know, she also wrote her own book and all that kind of stuff, her own journey and her own journal. And you know, you got to support these sisters and because they got something to say. I believe they got something to say, just like my mama in the next room got something to say. You
Let's believe it. The fact she brought you to this world, I'm sure she got plenty to say. You know.
But yes,
Mia, what led you into this? When you were coming out, and before you became a trauma therapist and a doula, did you think that this would be your calling, or when did you know, as it were, your calling? If that makes sense.
Good, very good question. Because I started as a trauma therapist. I think it was 2020 during the pandemic that I was doing a grief therapy with patients and so forth. And then I actually started experiencing my own grief and loss. I know, Mama, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, Kufunya.
Yes.
You talk about broken heart, right? I had a broken heart, you know, with a relationship, and I was like, wait, this is heavy. What's going on here? And then when I spoke with my friend, who was also a therapist, she was like, you're grieving. And I think in our society, the only type of grief that we talk about is the loss of a loved one. When we think about that too, the major ritual we have is for a loss of a loved one, is the funeral and all that stuff. We don't have any rituals, at least in this part of the world, for the other losses. And then I started going into a lot of research, and then I was like, oh, there's a such thing called end of life doula. And I was like very amazed about it. And immediately I became an end of life doula. And Simon, it sparked such a curiosity in me. Like, I left America in June of the pandemic and went to Africa to live. I was like, I want to see all other part of the world experience not only death, dying, but also grief. What are their rituals? How do they maneuver end of life? Because this part of the world is very like stigmatized. It's very like, we don't want to talk about it. When it happens, and it's very quiet, very hush. But other part of the world, when I went to Africa, when I went to Tanzania and Ghana, it's a big thing. End of life. It's a communal thing. It's not an individual thing to be hidden in the background. When one person in the village die, the whole community don't know the person.
Come together as a collective.
It's a collective.
Like Fu So May.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to ask Mama Ella the same thing. Mama Ella, did you know at one point that this would wind up being the work you would do, dealing with both the spiritual and physical physical world, so to speak? Did you do what you do now?
I don't, but I always say that I don't work. So
Mm.
this is just something within my bloodline
A calling.
that we practice. You know, being from a Haitian, coming from a Haitian mother, or coming from Haitian culture, we
Mm-hmm.
honor the ancestral realm. We speak to the ancestors. It's okay for us to set up altars. It's okay for us to have dreams, you know. And so accepting all of the things that seems to be taboo only enhances that within you. And so as I grew up, all of this was just normal, you know, getting
Mm-hmm.
messages from spirit realm, seeing spirits and things of that nature, because my mom and stuff like that, they're all psychics as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I just started channeling for close friends of mine, and they was like, wow, like you hitting heavy stuff, and they was like, you need to like expand yourself. And I'm like, oh, all right, I'll do it. And like, I'm here channeling for people all over this world, all
You
over
know,
this,
I think in the case of all of us on the screen,
you know.
none of us thought when we were coming up as kids or even teenagers or young adults that this would be our ultimate calling. Because as
Right,
somebody said, Lloyd, you're going to be an astronumerologist, I'd have said, who? First of all, who? What
right.
is that? You know, because I was the worst math student, if truth be told. I was the best math student in the world. So when they said doing numbers, but we've all found our paths and we've all connected. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So,
Right.
Nia, love, I'm definitely want to have you on Mama Ella separately because I have questions I want to ask. Because I could tell just alone I could ask questions, but then I would leave out Simon and Kufunya. And Kufunya, what led you down your spiritual path, young lady?
Oh my goodness. Oh God. Sometimes I get emotional.
Mm.
Um, I always knew that I wanted to help. I come from a medical background, but
Hmm.
in high school, they used to offer different careers and whatnot. And I worked as a nursing assistant during the summer. And then my mom also worked as an OR technician.
Hmm.
And and then my grandmother, she used to work with herbs and different stuff like that when we hardly ever got sick or anything. But I didn't know, I really wanted to be RN, but I wound up in respiratory, became a respiratory therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I moved into the music business. I was curious what fills stadiums and stuff like that, and clubs and all of that other stuff. And then, I was called into the world of crystals, essential oils, and it was due to like a traumatic type of situation because I was putting all my energy and everything into uh a group that I work with, and then all of a sudden they just kind of flaked on me, and it was very disappointing for me. I even wanted to go back into my field of respiratory care, but spirit led me to East West Books, and from there I call that East West Book University. And you know how we met, Lloyd,
That's how we connected.
and brother Hankey, we connected there. And all of these other known speakers and healers used to come through East West Books. I didn't even know them, but they came through and looked for their books and whatnot. And just one thing led to another. Crystals helped heal me emotionally. I call them my friends. And I studied, Reiki. I studied aromatherapy. I studied crystal healing, and I'm a self-taught sound healer as well. And all of those things would just help me. And while I was going through my trauma, of being betrayed and all of those other things, I was helping other people heal their stuff. So one thing led to another. So I'm just very grateful to be able to assist others. And I still help within the music business as a consultant, but my
And you
love,
just got an award, a recognition, not too long ago.
I
Within the
did.
past 2
I
weeks, right?
did. It was my very first. I was like, oh my God, it was my first one, and people couldn't believe that, I haven't, but everything has its timing, so I wasn't really looking for any type of alkylations or anything for the work. I just did the work because I loved it. I
Mhm.
love what I
Well,
do.
normally that's what happens when you love something you do. It's not work.
Right.
It's
And
a,
then
it's a
because
joy.
of King Simon, I am now finishing up on my first book
All
that is
right,
going to be
there we go.
dealing with
There we go.
insights and my spoken word. And then I have a lot of visions. I have a lot of dreams and everything. And I see people, like when Mama Ella talks about people who have departed, people have come in my visions, and I'm not even thinking about them, and they show up for real, and I be talking to them and everything. So it's a real thing, and I'm a woman who loves nature anyway. I always love thunder and lightning, and when it comes around, I'm like, is that all you giving me, Mother Nature? I want more, and I'm a tree hugger at times, and I love to be by the water and stuff like that. So these things are very, very real for me. I'm not in it just because I'm going to get on a bandwagon, or I'm
Yeah.
going to sell crystals, or I'm going to do this. No, it comes from a deeper place. Thank
Well,
you.
Simon, I got to tell you, with Simon and I, our background. Well, first of all, Simon is so diversified; it's
Oh
almost
yes.
embarrassing. But we met in radio days of WLIB, WBLS, WWRL.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
little
sir.
in my wildest dream, I think when we had our shows every day emanating from the stage of the Apollo, and he
Yeah.
came up and got a reading, little did I know we would form a bond
Mm,
that we are now brothers as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Simon,
Yes,
tell
sir.
us, what did you know what you was going to do? Because you were much into radio. You were in the SOBs with Kufunya,
Hmm.
Yeah.
everything. So
I
what
mean,
led you this path? You was in the martial arts, the Nation of Islam. You was doing a little bit of everything.
yeah, I was into a lot, but the mathematics of the nation and the 5% from 14, but also like I always said, and like I mentioned before on the award show at Forbidden Knowledge Award with Billy and Elizabeth. My grandmother used to always acknowledge birthdays, and I was always wondering why she always knew everybody's birthday.
Mm.
She was born June the 22nd, so already that master number is like it stayed in my head when I realized, ooh, grandma was a master at remembering things mentally. I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then when I got into the 5%, they taught the lessons of who was the original man and all of that, and then teaching, and then breaking down the numbers and what one represent knowledge, two represent wisdom, and then we had to break that down. And I mean, back in those days, if you didn't know your lessons, you would get a beat down if you didn't break it down. You know what I'm saying?
And this was
So
at the 5%ers, right?
with the 5%
Well, the
Nation of
founder of
God,
the 5%ers was born on I think either
22nd,
February
February
22nd.
22nd,
Yeah,
February
February
22nd.
22nd. He was a master number 22
He was
also.
exactly he was,
Okay.
and then I went into the Ansar community where we learned Hebrew, Arabic, and Abjad, and learned a little Kabbalah, a little bit of Abjad from the Arabic, the Muslim perspective of Islamic numbers, the Arab numbers, and the Hebrew numbers. And then I left that community, and '89 is when you did that reading on my birthday on Gary Bird's show. I remember that in '89. I remember it was my birthday too. I called in. I said, I bet I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in. And sure enough, that took me to a whole that was a catalyst for me to go ahead and do it. Study it. And your book wasn't even the first one I got. It was Helen Hitchcock's book.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes. I
yeah,
have
I
a
still
book in
got
my
it.
collection too.
Back
Yeah.
in 1989, I got that book. So, and then I got your book. Your book was second because I realized you was in and out. So, and you was teaching at different colleges, but I never
Yeah,
came
and
to
I
a
was teaching at
formal,
the Tree of Life bookstore too.
yeah. I was never came to a formal lecture, college seminar until that time. I came with me and what's the name was there, Conja Queen, Shantavia was there,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yep.
you allowed me to get up there and teach, and I said, okay, let's do it, because you have to.
You got to believe in somebody, Simon. Okay. I mean, and where do we start?
Yeah.
You know, we got to start somewhere. I don't know why people think that, you know, when you're starting something, you got to have all this experience in the background. And you got to get it by starting at some point, somewhere, and then we evolve. So that's why I was asking all the guests. I know how Kufunya started. You know, hers is extensive, yours is extensive. But to hear Nia, to hear Mama Ella, it's just very amazing that in Mama Ella's case, things just always ran through the family in that way. You know, going into the visible and invisible world, so to speak, and the fact that Nia Love said, "Listen, I'm going to Africa to really, really learn this art." I think
That's beautiful.
that's very impressive.
I think
That's very,
with
impressive.
Nia and Mama Ella, I put both of them in front stage one time. I made sure they did a lecture for the first time with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That's King Simon.
you was definitely the first person to introduce me to the conscious community.
Yeah.
And the first person to ask me to teach a lecture. First action, as a matter of fact, the first lecture that I taught was Women's Month, and it was at Nicholas Brooklyn. On
downtown Brooklyn, when it was downtown on 14th.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, back in the day.
You definitely was the first person to invite me to do a lecture.
Yes.
And
let me put my 2 cents.
Same for me. You're the I think was it Nicholas with Dr. Layla Africa?
Downtown Brooklyn too. Downtown Brooklyn too. That was
no, it was a full. So it was
a Fulton Street, downtown Brooklyn.
Yep.
Off of Flatbush Avenue.
And in fact, that's where Simon got me to do my first PowerPoint on Palmer Street. And I just started a Palmer Street class yesterday. It's great. The reception was great. And Simon did a lot for me. This brother, he has no idea. I will always honor and respect him.
Thank you, sir.
He's done a lot for me. I mean, it's just StreamYard, Linktree. Who's that? What's that? And with the PowerPoint, he just led the way, and then he let me out there where I had to swim for myself. But you know, it's Simon, you the best, brother. That's all.
But you know what it is.
You the best.
You know what it is. In the dojo, we always say us to each other, or know, in the spiritual realm, they'll say namaste, because you're recognizing the God in everybody, and they recognizing you. So once you recognize the talent and the gift that the Creator gave you, you got to let them shine. Go ahead, do your thing, man. Make it happen. That's what I want. I like to see.
I want to make sure that everybody knows that this is what's happening on this.
No, well, that's the other fly. I gave you the first one. I gave you the first one. You got the other one. You got that. That one is the there it is. That's
esoteric wisdom. Woo.
There it is. That one there. That's the one. That's the one. But Mama Ella, you didn't get the last one with Mama Ella, because Mama Ella was added on last. You didn't.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say she wasn't on there, but I think she's on this one.
Yeah, she's on this one. Yeah, she's on that one. That was a promotion for this show. But yeah, she will be there, and we're gonna have a good time. Esoteric wisdom matters. For our mental and physical well-being, and each one of them have a certain wisdom that they came to share. I'm going to be passing the mic back and forth from different people, man, because that's what it's all about, so people can see that we are all regular people. We all went through our ups and our downs in this lifetime too, and we all are growing and becoming whatever we're going to be. We're all blossoming still. We're still blossoming.
Now, I have a question for you, Simon. For people who can't come, that's not within the tri-state area, can they view it?
Live stream, yes.
Eventbrite or something?
Live stream. They could go to my Linktree. I gave it to you on here. Yeah, they could go to the
Eventbrite. I see it. Okay.
But I gave you the private, in the private chat. I gave it to you. The Linktree, it takes you straight to it.
Empress Row, can you put that up, please?
In the private chat.
Yeah, it's in the private chat.
I wanted to add that King Simon is the one that also brought me into the conscious community when East West Books closed. And I started bringing my experience to a store in Brooklyn, and we met up and everything, and he put me on. So,
Simon is a true
takes
Aquarian.
it
He's a
takes
true Aquarian.
nothing. It takes nothing for a person to help another person. You know, it doesn't take
You can't tell
anything
some
from
people
you.
that, Kufunya.
Well,
Okay?
I know, but still.
That's right. Because
You
anybody,
definitely get your karmic reward.
What'd you say, Mama
Next
Ella?
lifetime, you would, King Simon, you would definitely get your karmic reward. Not in this lifetime. I mean, if not in this lifetime, in your next lifetime, because you done a lot for a lot of people. And also, you know that this Sunday is going to be a super moon. A new moon.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Taurus.
So that energy and saying esoteric and wisdom on a super moon, which will intensify it, will bring more energy to that whole event, is going to be well received for those people that attend.
Now I got to tell you this. I'm going to go around the table again because Nia, I understand you may not be able to stay too much longer, but how can people get in touch with you, please?
Sure. You can reach me at, let me see, my email, which is holistic. Can I put it somewhere?
You can put it in the private chat, and you could copy and paste it, Lloyd, if you can, if you know how to do it. You know how to do that, Lloyd?
I'm hoping that my moderator knows how to do that. See, I gotta learn how to do these things. Copy and paste. Hold on.
All right.
holisticlp@gmail.com.
Okay. Repeat that again.
Holistic LP.
How do you spell holistic? Because you know it's two different ways.
It's with a K at the end.
And W, right? WHO? Or it's,
it's with a W. Begin with a W.
Exactly. Remember that. Right.
And the
okay, Simon, I think I did it. I'm not sure. Yes, I did it.
Right. So you could be able to show it on the screen now. I think you could be sure.
Yeah, it is on the screen. I see it. I see it in the comment section.
Oh, you put it in the comment section? You can't show it. You can't, because you're supposed to be able to press on that from your end and show it on the screen too.
Really? Hold on. See, okay.
Yeah.
Learning and growing.
Empress Rel did put it on. How you doing, Rel? She definitely put her email.
I went right to your website.
Oh no! Don't click on the web. Don't click on it.
No. I'm saying I don't want to lose it. Okay.
You just want to copy, paste, and put it in the chat.
Mama Ella, how can people get in touch with you, young lady?
You can follow me on Instagram at your_majesty13 and take it from there. A lot of people, have accounts on that platform. Yeah. So that's the best way, or rather the easiest way to get in touch with me. Just follow me or shoot me a DM. And I'll try to answer the DM as soon as possible.
No weirdos, please. No weirdos. Weirdos.
All my information is in my bio. So if you just go to my Instagram account, all of my information is in my bio in terms of contacting me.
And what's the name again?
Sorry?
What's your contact again on Instagram?
Right there.
It's right there in front of us. Right there in
the screen. Your_majesty13.
You are underscore.
Yes.
You are underscore. Somebody put you, but you are underscore. It's right there on the screen in front of her.
Okay. And Mama Ella, Kufunya, hers is Kufunya Star Rebel on IG.
Yes.
And that's spelled Kufunya. Kufunya Star Rebel.
Yes.
And Simon, what about you, buddy?
The link tree is good, but right here, you got my IG is at iam.kingsimon. iam.kingsimon is right here at my IG. You can DM me too, as long as you're not crazy. Just DM me. Everything is good.
Yeah.
And big up to Uncle Rising Sun, because he's going to come with the magnets. He's going to come with the orgone energy. He's going to come with the tea, the Kiba Liba tea, whatever you got to cook.
Yes.
Kukumanga tea. I don't know what you call it.
He always got something going on.
Uncle's the mad scientist, for real. He's a scientist for real. You know,
Right.
Yeah, he's
he wants you to lift.
he
He
is
wants you to
something
lift
special.
something. Every time you drink something, you got to lift something. See if it works.
No, if you ain't lifting, you ain't testing. That's it.
He's
And
so
it gets
silly.
heavier and heavier too. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess this stuff is more potent than anything. But I
Yes,
do
yes.
want to thank all of y'all very, very much.
I'm proud of everybody here.
I'm supposed to be
Thank
out of
you.
town, but I'm gonna try my best to get there if I can. I cannot promise. That's the only
If you
reason
can.
why. But
No problem,
if
Lloyd.
so
No worries.
possible, because I definitely want to meet Nia Long in person.
You met
Definitely
me
Mama
already,
Ella.
Lloyd.
Huh?
You met her already.
Yeah. Before I went to Jamaica 2 years ago, you did a reading for me and Nicholas. I was like, should I be going? Because I was gonna live there for a year.
And what I say?
And you said, yeah, but you coming back, right? I'm like, yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you're back. You know what it is? Seven and I will tell you, we talk to so
Yeah,
many
it's okay.
people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
good. So Mama Ella, I look forward to seeing you at one point too, but y'all will be on the show where we can go
Yes.
with this. And this would explain why, like you were talking about at the end of life doulas, where people are all of a sudden asking for GoFundMe's.
Yes, it's
You
so
Yeah.
see, I've
sad.
noticed that. You know, a lot of GoFundMe's
They're
come up
not
all of a
prepared.
sudden.
Mhm.
And then, so it says that a lot of people are not prepared for the end of the
Yeah.
journey, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
You know,
I would like to ask the doula, Nia, do you think it's because of the programming that we have received in Western society why we don't talk about it like other cultures do?
Yeah, I think that's a part of it. It's a part of it in terms of the program that about end of life, but it's also societal. Brown and black people when it come on to economics, that's something that we struggle with in this part of the world. So that's also a big part of it. There's many different things that I've seen. Because I'm also a hospice social worker, so I do
Beautiful.
go to people home. I do sit with the dying and their families, and it's a
That's
vast
beautiful.
disparity when I go to a white person home and when I go to a black person home. I mean,
that's
they're
interesting.
fully
That's good.
prepared. They got the funeral arrangements. I mean, in place. They got the money for it. And when I go to a Spanish person home, a black person home, it's a hit or miss. Some people are prepared in terms of having the arrangements, but when it comes down to the emotional and the spiritual part of it, it's something that we don't want to talk about it. It's you know keep the faith. They're going to be okay. I mean, no, they're at the end. And, we
Yeah,
want to be
yeah,
intentional. We want to be meaningful about how we want this to look, opposed
Yeah,
to
the send off.
it's going to happen. You know what I mean? So it's a hit or miss, but it's also the programming from this part of the world I'm seeing. Yeah.
yeah. And no one leaves this planet alive, that's for sure. So
That's
with
right.
that alone, you think that we kind of start getting a reality check, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lloyd,
So
can I say
anyway,
something real quick, Lloyd? Can I
of
say
course you
something real
can,
quick?
Simon.
If anybody wants the link tree, it's right here. Link tree / King Simon, the Numerator is right here. You can get the tickets to the direct place coming to Nicholas, or you could do the live stream, which is only $11.11. But if you're coming to Nicholas, $20 in advance, and I think it's $30 at the door. But get the advance tickets and come out. And everybody that does purchase a ticket to come to the venue will receive a free ebook courtesy of me. Via email through if you're paying for the tickets to come to the venue, not for the live stream. If you're coming to the venue, everybody will get a free
What ebook is this, Simon?
one of my spiritual lessons. One I sent you one already. I sent you one by email already. I know I sent
Okay,
you.
I'm just making sure I got all your complete
Yeah.
collection.
I'm writing another one. I'm writing another one called The Walk of the Magi, the Walk of a Numerational Magi.
Wow.
Is that the one where I saw you had designed the cover that
Yes,
I showed on the screen?
yes,
Those covers are
Okay.
amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm having fun, but a lot of ebooks. I ain't putting them. I'm not. So people. Empress Rel did put the link tree in the chat, so you can show it.
Yay, good.
That's the case.
Good, good.
Yeah, and you got the links. You got the link tree takes you to the Eventbrite. That's right for the live stream and for the direct tickets. For the direct ticket, if you're coming to the Brooklyn event at Nicholas. Big up to Monique, 50 going on 51 years. Everything at Nicholas, and thank y'all very much. I'm proud of every one of y'all. I'm proud of every one of y'all.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I don't know when I can get there, but if things change, y'all will see me. I ain't trying to be a surprise.
Absolutely. We miss you, Lloyd. We miss you a
I'm
lot.
gonna do my best. Yes. I love Nicholas Brooklyn. I go there and
Mama
as soon as I
Ella.
walk in, I can't leave without getting something. It's like it's just one of them kind of stores,
It's
you
an
know.
institution.
Yeah.
Mama Ella doing big things. She was at LIU the other day. I'm going to be at LIU on June the 22nd.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to Shabazz too
Yeah,
for
Shabazz.
doing the
I'm
work.
speaking
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, with
Well,
Brother
Nia Love,
Shabazz.
it's an honor and a pleasure to meet you, young lady. Mama
Yeah.
Ella, likewise.
Thank you. Yes.
Kufunya, you know how we do, girl.
An
Okay.
honor. Looking forward to connecting with everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Simon, I love all of you. Now, for those of you, let me see something. I'm going to switch over to me a second if I can. I don't know how to do this thing here.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Lloyd.
Just do it.
Let
Just
me
do
see.
it.
Oh, here we
Do
go.
it. Do it to your
All
satisfaction.
All right,
right.
good. Bye, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
What's left? There's a couple of people I promised I would read them on the screen. One was Goldie Lee, and one was DS. Okay, but all of you, please make sure, if nothing else, for those that are in the area, that you be in attendance at this event on Sunday. Also, Saturday, the day before at Nicholas Brooklyn, there is also going to be Ross Ben. And some sound healing and things like that. That's going to be very, very important. So for those of you who can do that, what I'm going to do now is take the time to go to see the comments, because next week I'm going to just take a couple of days off. But there's some people I promised I would read. DS was one of them, and also Goldie Lee, because she wanted to know her name and stuff. So let me go back to the top a second. And I do want to thank all of you very much. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Okay, here we go. Good. So now I'm going to go to the comment section a second and see. Okay. By the way, I'm going to have Jazz Aphrodite sit in for me on next Monday and Tuesday. She's going to be sitting in for me, and I asked her, and I thank her very, very much because of things I have to do, but she will be sitting in for me. Okay, so let me see. All right, the comment sections, okay. And I do want to thank all of you very, very much. One, I did promise Goldie Lee I would do her name, and in fact, I'm going to put her name up. I don't know whether I see her. Also, DS too, because he wanted to know why he attracted 4 people, and he's born on the 6th of November. If I can see that. Hi, Diamond 8. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. Okay. Let me see. Oh, this person here, Mariah Harris, says, what's the difference if your best day is a Friday is on a negative number day? And in your book, numbers can mean yes or no. Okay. In my book, I call the section in the book toward the end of the book called Numerology and Thought Reading. And how it works is you think about a question, right? And as you're thinking about the question, then you just write down or say any 3 numbers that come to your mind. Don't think. The point is it's got to be like 247. Okay. And so what does 247 mean? All right. And so that, in this case, it adds up to 13 and 4. And what happens is she was saying that your best number is a Friday, but it's a negative number, which means, for example, the stressful number to the number 6 is the number 4. Okay. So when they talk about Friday the 13th, that's a 1 + 3 falling on a 4. If you look at the day John F. Kennedy was shot on November the 22nd of 1963, it was on Friday the 22nd, and 2 + 2 is 4. Now that works in the reverse. What do I mean? Well, it could be Sunday the 6th, Sunday the 15th. So in other words, as I was explaining about 2 weeks ago, that the date overrules the day. So she could say, well, Mariah says, well, Friday's one of my best days, but I'm having some challenges. Well, yeah, that would make sense if it's Friday the 4th, Friday the 13th, Friday the 22nd, or Friday the 31st. So the date will always have more power over the day, okay? And I did say I would be doing some negative numbers too, but I'll do that later on. But if I don't see them, I'm going to put up on the screen because I made sure that I promise. Hey, Stephen, that's my buddy right here too. Stephen E. Scorpio. Okay. I don't see them, but anyway. And for those who made donations, thank you very, very much. You'll know I don't solicit donations or anything. I just, okay, good. Here she is. This is Goldie Lee. She says, she asks, how do you feel about name change? Goldie Lee matching. Yes, it's very, very interesting. In fact, let me put this on the screen right now because I did U and DS. Here we go. Okay, let me take this off the comment section a second. All righty. DS, first of all, when he comes into the screen, he's known as DS, right? And he was trying to figure out why was he attracting 4s to him. But if you notice, he has 5 4s running through his name. Let me explain. The birthday indicates why you are here. It is your name that tells me what you know. So it's like a pupil-teacher relationship. So with all those 4s, he would not only bring 4 people into his life, such as the 4th, the 13th, 22nd, or 31st of the month, but he would also bring into his life those under the signs of Aquarius, which is ruled by the 4, which is Leo, also, which is a 1-4 combination. In the minor way, Gemini, since Uranus has its exaltation in Uranus, or Mercury has its exaltation in Uranus, whatever the case is. So that would explain it. And see, here's the thing too. On average, there should be only 1 4 in a name. If you look at Shaniqua's underneath, Shanika rather, she's got 2 4s. That's okay. He's got 5 4s. So that tells me he likes to be his own best company. You know, he can have his moments of mood. And I'm not talking about negative way. Sometimes he just don't feel like being bothered with nobody. But this would explain to me why he would have it. And then when I look at his first name, that's a 37, which is a 1, which is somewhat antagonistic to the 1. But his total name adds up to a 3, and his numbers are the 6, 9, and 3. So in that way, it is. So there will kind of be somewhat like a paradox to the name, so to speak. In other words, some 4s will come in. They'll probably be cool. And then some 4s will come in, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. Now, Shanika, this is very, very interesting because evidently the way she talked about it, she knew that Goldie Lee adds up to a 9 and she's born on the 18th. Okay, so when I did her name, Shanika, which is the first name, it added up to a 20, which is a 2. The one thing I know is she's got a lot of 1s, so I know she don't take no stuff from nobody. She needs to run her own business or be a manager, supervisor, or director. But the direct opposition number to the number 9 is the number 2. Okay, and so therefore, when I did her name, Goldie Lee, okay, hold on, let me do this a second. I didn't put this on the board here. This is fun for me. Okay, hold on, let me do this. Nope, let me do this a second. Now, see, when I did her name, Goldie Lee, like this, right? See if y'all can see it. Goldie is a 5. Lee is a 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. Now that matches her birthday exactly. Okay. Even the first name is a 5, which is an air number, and 9 is a fire number. So that would do well with that one in that way. Okay. So just looking at that, I can see why she'd use the name Goldie Lee. Now, when she talked about the change of name, yes, that is quite possible. Don't forget, there is in English, there's called synonyms, which means the word can sound the same but spelled different, like the bear, like a B-E-A-R, or bear, B-A-R-E, where you don't have nothing on, you barely have enough money, or barely, whatever the case is. So there would be, so for me, if she came to me with this name and I saw it, the first thing I would do is tell her that her first name is in opposition to her date of birth. Because what you want to do is get your name, number, in alignment as much as possible with your name. This is why I do consultations and things of that nature. So how do we do it? So here's what I'm saying. Let's say everybody knows her as Shanika, all right? And she goes back and says, girl, my name is Barbara. Well, that's my sister's name. That's why I'm using it. Well, Barbara, it's interesting. Barbara is as of 2011. And you know what? Out of habit, they'll say, okay, Shanika, yeah, I understand, girl. So what I'm saying is when you change your name, you must insist that the name be changed. So therefore, there would be some kind of way where I would toy around with it. Maybe substitute maybe an A for an E or whatever the case is like that. But this is how you do it. And in fact, this is how I changed when Jean Carn, the famous singer, came to me. And they did a piece on her on in Radio TV One with Kathy Hughes, who's born on April 22nd. Her birthday was last week. Yesterday. Her birthday was yesterday. Kathy Hughes of Radio One and Radio and TV One, whatever. So what happens is when Jean Carn came to me, what I did was I added an E to her name. And I have a CD because a couple of videos way back, I even showed the CD that she autographed to me and demanded put the E in her name. So that's what I would do. I would change the name where it still sounds the same, but spelled differently. Carol is spelled several ways. Michelle is spelled several ways. You know what I'm saying? Kimberly is spelled several ways. Most of these names have multiple kinds of things to them. And so that's how I'm seeing it. So that's how I'm looking at it. So let's see there. Okay, DS. Okay, this is my man here. Okay, DS. Let me put this back on the screen for you too. Okay, so you see this. And I enjoy this, to be honest with you. I really, really do. And there you go at the top. All right. And so what it simply means is, and let me tell you this, I call 4 the genius number, but I also call 4 the number of secret enemies: jealousy, envy, insecurity, because 4s are normally very visionary. So it tells me something within Donzette Sunderland's name, that there's something about him that would make him a genius. Now, the only unfortunate part, a lot of times in our communities, we're not told, we're not encouraged that we're geniuses or great. Now, we're trained to knock each other, to put doubts in each other in terms of trying to do something. But I would say when it comes to the mechanical, mathematical sciences, computers, radio, television, gadgets, gizmos, technology in any form, he would reign supreme. In fact, he would be one of my better numerology students because 4 rules numbers. He'll remember birthdays, he'll remember license plate. There'll be something about numbers in him that seem to go hand in hand. And the fact that he has so many. And the reason why I say secret enemies, because 4s like to think outside the box. So if everybody's doing it one way, I know Brother Sunderland is doing it a whole nother way, okay? So then when he altered his name to DS, well, that added to a number 7. And that's from the first name, D, and then the last letter from the S, and that adds up to a 7. Since 7s are somewhat like 4s, they like to be their own best company. They have a mind of their own. They can be very sarcastic. And yet, if you notice, the first letter even starts off with a D. So this may explain why you will have these relationships drawn into your life with 4s. Okay. So this is just a guess, man. I mean, maybe you need to call one day, schedule a session with me, but I wanted to make sure that I addressed these 2 things. And before I go, I see there is somebody who, let me see how we do this now. Okay, there, then I go here and there. Okay. Hank Rising, son.
Hey, how you doing, Lloyd?
Fine. The show is over, buddy. But I saw you, and King Simon said you could not make it. So anyway, there were 3 ladies that entertained us, which is Nia Long, Mama Ella, Kufunya, but I did flash on the screen that you will be there on this Sunday.
Yo, I'm making pyramids for Nicholas, copper-coated pyramids to hang from the ceiling. So we're going to be in a vortex. You see him? I'm coating it with copper, Lloyd. Yo, and I got a new amulet.
You're a genius. You're a genius. You always coming up with something, huh?
I got a new amulet for you. Yo, it makes you feel like new money. It looks like a Star David, but it's high-powered magnets. Instead of star, the star is magnets, Lloyd. You're going to be dangerous at this, bro. You're going to have to add this to the art gallery.
Well, let me ask you this then, because I do have to go. What are you going to be talking about on Sunday? Because you are highly featured, my friend.
Yo,
you sound like me when I go. I never know what I'm going to talk about till I get there.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm thinking blood flow and how to magnetize your finger for blood. Magnetize. See, I got one of my magnetic rings. And what you do, magnetize your blood to help prevent stroke, heart attack, diabetes, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. It's all blood flow. After 25, we got to keep our blood flowing like a broken faucet. Otherwise, we in trouble. Yo, see, Lloyd, this is the base of the pyramid.
Yeah.
We go on copper. More money, more money, more money. All you got to do is stand underneath it so you can get your blessings.
And you know what's amazing is over the last 30 years or so, all copper plumbing has been removed out of these buildings and replaced with plastic.
Yeah, that's so they can go broke.
You know?
Because copper is healing.
Yes, copper is very healing. Copper, and in fact, they have copper cups to drink water out of. There's so much to this, but Hank, I gotta go, man. It's like when I saw you, I says, well, I'm gonna acknowledge you. I don't care.
Yo, I'll see you under the pyramid near soon.
Okay.
And the family too. But I'm in the lab making the pyramids so that we can be blessed with the copper radiance. Thanks, Lloyd. Peace out.
You're more than welcome, Hank, my buddy. And we are brothers. We are brothers also.
And thank you, brother, and the rest. See y'all soon.
Okay, take care, buddy.
All right.
So you see Hank Rising will be there, Nia Long, Mama Ella, Kufunya, of course, King Simon. And that is this coming Sunday. The day before, they're going to have Ross Ben. They're going to have live music. It's just a fantastic place. Go to 1396 Fulton Street, please. And you will be more than pleased. Trust me. So I do want to let you know before I sign off that the show has been brought to you by U-Juice. And so to order a case or whatever the case is, you should order cases because it's just that good. It is Levitt Store, LIVETSTORE.com. That's LIVETSTORE.com. Also, Monique of Nicholas, Brooklyn, over 50 years in business. God bless her. And again, they're going to have this event coming up for this Sunday. Also, I do want to thank Manifest on Purpose with Ms. Kimberly and the fact she is now offering a service. You know, it's interesting. When I was doing the 2020, that's how I formed the online course at Udemy, the Learn with Lloyd series, how to read a person like a book, the next step in numerology and the do's and don'ts of numerology. That's how I developed the app. So sometimes when you are under these situations where a lot of people are unemployed or cut loose all of a sudden like that, you form businesses. So what she has done is she's added a more metaphysical business component to setting up a business, from your color paths to the, I mean, it's just amazing. So please reach out to Miss Kimberly. It's KIMBALEY_ or Kimberly.com. All right. And finally, also Numerologics with Queen B. She has Queen B TV. She's predicted the Super Bowl. She's very, very conscious of the community. So it's nice. And I thank her for sponsoring the show. and also Jazz Aphrodite, who will be sitting in for me next Monday and Tuesday. She has an event coming up on May the 6th, so I think it'll be right on time. But I think there's only limited copies of her book, Knocking from the Inside. I have both the hardcover and softcover edition. I think she just has soft covers left, but you can tell she put a lot just into not only designing the book, but the content side of the book is made for a TV drama. Okay, that's really what it is. But you can also hear it on Audible too. All right. So before I go, I do want to let you know that April is almost up, but you can still get the free version. Okay. All you got to do is go to Linktree, linktr.ee numbers in you to order it. And for those that would prefer to listen to it, this is something over the last maybe 6 months that I came up with this idea that why don't I, whatever is talked about, I'll just edit it and you get the abbreviated version. But if you want the full version of some of the things, and try to add a little humor because everybody thinks it's all spooky, scary. That's not the deal like that. But you can hear it there. And so, by the way, when you do get the free newsletter, at the end of each time, you'll see the link where you can actually go to the site and hear what we talked about. All righty. So everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much. You all have a great week. There's been a lot of improvements with the Star 8 app. And so for those of you who are Android users, just go to your Play Store. For those of you who are Apple users, just go to your store and order the Star 8. Or you can go to astar8.com and do it. So there's a lot of improvements. And then there's more things coming down the road that I'm very excited about. So everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much for this. You all have a great week. I will see you week after next when it's the month of May. April's almost a wrap, okay? In the meantime, all of you do take good care of yourselves, all right? Please do that. That's very, very important, all right? Have a blessed day. Bye-bye now.